Okay, so for this summary, the first part is misconceptions. So, misconception can be referred to as preconceived notion or conceptual misunderstanding. Um, these are cases in which something a person knows or believes the does not match what is known to be scientifically. Lots of students who have misconceptions don't know like their ideas are wrong or incorrect, but when they're told, they have a really hard time to giving up their misconceptions, especially when they have the misconception for a long time. So examples for misconceptions are one of my students from practicum talk about like he thinks that bacteria is a non-living things because they can't see the bacteria. So he thinks that bacteria is a non-living thing. And another one is an object. Another misconception is like an object at rest has no energy. So I think misconceptions are very important because students can have their own ideas about why does the phenomenon happen this way. So before they're going to test for the phenomenon, they have their own idea. So misconceptions make students think in their mind and try to explain for a specific phenomenon before they're going to test for the phenomenon. So I think I will leverage my students. First, I will know like what kind of misconceptions they have, and I think I want to help them get rid of the misconceptions with some hand-on activities and with the experiment we're going to do like in my future classroom, because once they get to see what happens in the experiment, they will know like I think like they think their ideas before it's wrong, and so like maybe they will get rid of the misconception easier. Okay, so the next one is progression of the standards. So the progression of the standards, the meaning is like it is built on notion of learning as a developmental progression, and it is designed to help children continually build on and revise their knowledge and abilities, and starting from their curiosity about what they see around them in their daily life and their initial conceptions about how the world works. And also the goal of progression of standards is to guide students with their knowledge towards a more specifically or in a scientifically based and coherent view of the natural science and engineering. So one of so like some like one of the linear progression of the disciplinary core ideas from K through middle school is like for example life science. So life science like students will learn LS1, LS2, LS3, LS4. So students will learn like from molecules to organisms. Students will learn their structures and processes, and students will learn ecosystems, interactions, energy and dynamics, or biological evolution. So this is one of the specific one linear progression of the disciplinary core ideas from K through middle school. And I think the NGSS has a progression of its standards because I think it will let students know like what they're going to learn about, and after they're learning about the new knowledge, what things they can demonstrate through the lesson or through the standard. So So, like, if I am a fifth grade teacher, so the FPS 1-3, it's talks about matter and its interaction, and students will demonstrate understanding about making observations and measurements to identify materials based on their properties. So I think I will guide with my students with different objects, and definitely like the objects have the different properties. So I will guide through them, all of them with. I will teach them with different materials before they get to test for the materials with different properties. So I will guide them through like what they're look like, or their feelings when they're touching them, or color of the color, or like how they feel like, or their five senses from their looking or their hearing or touching them, smelling them, and taste them. So so basically I would just guide through for my students with whatever they need to test for the lab. Okay, so the next one is the 5E learning cycle. So the 5E learning cycle is, the first one for the 5E is engage. So for the engage part, teachers will hook students with prior knowledge. For example, teacher will ask students about open-ended questions and show them a fun video about the topics to hook students and to attract them attention with the topic they're going to learn. The next one is explore. So explore is engage and to engage and to have students have some hand-on activities to. So for the main part of explore is to have students draw out some misconceptions. So for example, dissecting flowers. So for example, with explore, they can do like dissecting flowers, and the main idea is to draw down some misconception when they're doing the explore activity. So the explain part is to give students direct instructions with certain concepts or terms, and discussing like the main vocabularies, or questioning with whatever students have for their misconceptions. In the explain phase, the teacher will give any explanations towards like vocabularies or concepts. So for examples of explain, teachers will define terms and review or reveal answers, or making foldables for like the vocabularies. So the next one is elaborate. So the elaborate is use the new knowledge they just learned to extend and to apply to their real world activities. So after students learn some concepts or terms in the explain phase, so the students will do some activities to apply for like their real world experiences. So for example, some examples of elaborate is Flipgrid, or give students a problem and they are going to solve the problem. For example, like how bees interact with flowers to speed seed. That's one of the questions they can ask for students. And evaluate. So evaluate is just check for understanding of misconceptions, and for example, we can do a rubric or assessment tool. So the next topic is engineering design process. So the first one is ask. So problems. So ask, obviously, like students will ask questions with problems, and for example, like if we plant a apple tree, like for example, if you want to plant 4 apple trees. And the next one is imagine. So imagine is brainstorming their solutions. For example, bubble map. So students will create a bubble map to brainstorming their solutions. And next one is to plan. So students will pick the best solutions they have, and they will pick the best concrete steps. For example, for this one, it's which one. So for example, like students will choose which one concept it will work the best. And the next one is create. Create, it follows through, gets to hand-on, build-in. Like students will build like a project with a certain topic, and with their creativity, and build some stuff to make it more it's just follow like through get hands-on activities. So the next one, the last one, is improve. So students will evaluate results and what went wrong, what went right, and how to make the things better. So maybe like when they did their when they're doing their design, they think something is too slow, or something is too big, or something is too expensive. They're going to fix that. So that's one of the example for improve. So that's the engineering design process. So I think some feedbacks. So for the feedback, which assignment did you feel was the most helpful, impactful, and why? So I think the most helpful assignment I did is the unit plan, that at the very end of the semester, because it really helps students to get to know what's happening, or what should they do when they're going to teach a unit in their future classroom. And with all those outlines that the teacher make for us, so we can do like what exactly to expect from the teacher, or expect some expectations from students in our future classroom. So I think it's very helpful for teachers to do like a unit plan assignment to guide students like how to teach their future students. And which assignment do you feel was not helpful enough? So I think which assignment? So I think one of the assignments is the event, like historical event assignment. Yeah, the current events in science for classroom instructions. I think that's not very helpful because we didn't really learn anything from the assignment. So just maybe some we just know some like prior knowledge or some news that happens like recently, but that's not learning anything. Maybe some of them are just like a little bit interesting for like little children. Okay, so the next one is so okay, so I think I have a really good semester with all of the students in our classroom, with all of our peers, and do like um, did the 5P lesson or like teaching like learn the knowledge from the classroom. I think I have really fun time. So yeah, thank you.